Hey guys, Brandon back with another FM Live. Today we're going to talk about spiked performance. So as always, if you guys have questions, drop them in the comments. We'll get to them at the end or we'll answer them in the comments after the fact. So what is spiked performance? Spiked performance is kind of a passion project. One of our friends basically started it in his garage to fund his automotive dreams during the pandemic. He was bored, he didn't really have a whole lot to do. So he decided to do this for fun, and then it turned into a pretty big business. And then there was basically too much demand and life got in the way. So he reached out to us and said, hey, I can't do this on my own. What do you think about partnering up to offer these to the public? And we said, awesome. We really like your parts, and I think that's a fantastic idea. So specifically, these parts right here. Now, all of these are exclusive to FM, so we're the one place to get them. And that also means, since you can get them through FM, that means that now they are available to an international market, which is pretty awesome. So we have a few, as you can see. So these are Fender Vents. So they are powder-coated aluminum. They are pre-bent. This is how they come. They come with templates, so you can figure out exactly where they go, and they also come with rivets, mounting hardware. And you want fender vents to relieve air pressure in the wheel wells. Better brake cooling, better engine cooling, a little bit less front end lift, probably less drag, although we haven't done the calculations on that. And you can see how they fit over here. Now these sit on top, something like that. These vents are our left lane design vents. This is the NA version that's 2 pieces, and then there's an NB that's a single piece. Whereas again, the spiked sits on top right here. So you can have them all if you want all of the air evacuation, or do just whichever one works for you. So left and right included, as you would expect. So these are hood louvers. Hood louvers are there to improve flow through your heat exchangers. So you want all the air coming in at the front here, you want low pressure behind it so that it can easily evacuate all that air. So again, more airflow through your heat exchangers equals better cooling. It also equals less front end lift, so the car is going to be a little bit more stable at speed. So these are also powder coated aluminum. They are pre-bent. And they do include a left and a right, templates, and rivets. These guys install, you have a bit of flexibility in where you want to install them, but basically right there. Here, I'll put the other one in there. So something like that. We do have a few different versions of hood louvers. We've got the Veris hood louvers in that car. We've got singular hood louvers. And then we also just came out with our knifed hood louvers, which are smaller guys that end up right here. So we'll talk about those later, but we're going to stay focused on the spiked stuff for now. So we also have the cowl panel here. So we've got it in bare and we've got it in black. So this goes in between the headlights right here under hood. So this is nice because it's pretty. It cleans it up, which is nice. It also helps seal up that area a little bit because, again, all the air, or as much of the air as possible, going into the mouth of the car, you want to go through the heat exchangers. So if it's able to go around the heat exchanger, then it's not helping you cool the car at all. So the radiator cowl here, where it installs and how it installs and all that. So you can see Mazda has this plastic piece here to start off with. It does something. They know it's a good idea, but it's not sealed up quite as well, and it's pretty ugly. This is my car, and it's a good example of all the gross stuff that you want to cover up. So this guy is actually super easy to install. Just slips right in there. Now it does come with hardware and spacers and everything to bolt it in place so it actually fits. And I've got an extra piece here that's making it sit a little goofy. But short version, that is where that mounts, and that kind of cleans up all of that. And finally, we have a shift knob. So machined from aluminum, Pretty slick. It's similar to our Delrin knob, a little bit shorter, or excuse me, a little bit taller and a little bit smaller in diameter. And then you can see how that compares to our Craven Speed knob. So those are the 3 shift knobs that we sell. So for different preferences and budgets and all of that kind of stuff. Different weights, different heights, all that. So questions. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. Hopefully we'll get to them. I think so, but technical difficulties and all that kind of stuff. So, but we have a couple of questions that I'll go through. So one of the questions was, how much better is the cowl panel than stock? And well, how much, okay, so I'll start there. How much better is the cowl panel than stock? I don't know. It is way prettier, but that's a subjective thing. It's much prettier, but that's a subjective thing. As in terms of airflow, that is something that I'm sure could be modeled for many, many dollars, but it's not a thing that we've tested. It is sealed up better. It's not wildly better, but it is better. So more of that air is going to go through your heat exchangers. So a very logical follow-up question to that is, what is a good order of operations for your ducting? So the first thing is to identify your problem. The second thing to do is how to address that problem. Now, if we've identified that we want airflow through the heat exchangers, which is good, and you are okay with cutting holes in the body, hood vents are the first thing that I would do. So you've got a lot of pressure behind the radiator right here. So you should have pressure in front of the radiator. You want low pressure, high pressure specifically. You want low pressure behind the radiator because that's going to help air move through the heat exchangers. So hood vents are going to be the most beneficial thing you can do. They're also going to be one of the easiest things that you can do. So the next step there would be, well, let me back up. If you don't have an under tray, that's the first thing I would do. But I'm going to assume that it is an intact stock car. So the next thing I would do is work on your ducting in the mouth. Try to seal as much as possible to the heat exchangers so that all the air that comes into the mouth is going to go through the heat exchangers and not around them. So that's a whole different topic, but the short version is under tray, hood vents, and then ducting in front of the heat exchangers, including the cowl panel. Okay, so do we have or will we have any ND parts, I assume from Spiked Performance specifically? Spiked Performance doesn't make any ND parts. Now I am now realizing that I may have forgotten these are NA and NB, these are NA and NB. This is all 4 generations, and then this is NA only. So ND parts, not at this point. Now we do have the Veris hood louvers, like we have on the car in the background there, which do work very well and are located appropriately in lots of surface area to pull air through and all that fun stuff. So there is that. We got another question about whether we were going to have an NB cowl, Nancy Bravo. At this point, probably not terribly likely. Hopefully in the future, but it's going to be a bit. So for the near term, no. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to have one of those, but we will look at getting that added. Thank you for stopping by again. Well, not again, because you guys weren't here for that part. So the next 2 weeks, for FM Live, our schedule will be a little weird. So we've got the Miata reunion at Barber Motorsports Park in Birmingham, Alabama next weekend. So that is August 30th and 31st. And then the following weekend, there's Miatas at the Gap, at Deals Gap or Tail of the Dragon, Fontana Lake, whatever you want to call it. And that is going to be August 4th through the 7th. So we're going to be there with a couple of cars, with a whole pile of parts to talk, chat about whatever. So come by and see us. We will be doing FM Live, but it's kind of a as time allows type of thing as opposed to on Thursday at 2, which we can do while we're at the shop. So all of that having been said, thank you for stopping by yet again. We will see you next time. If you have questions, again, please drop them in the comments. If you like this, despite all of our technical difficulties, Please like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and hopefully we will see you in person in the coming weeks. All right, thanks, guys.